Our constitution recognizes us as to be the sovereign. Each of us are the kings or the queens. Each of us are equal. No one is lesser than the other. Now, I just want to tell you one thing. Whether you know it or not, all these young girls and boys who are here, we are all nation builders. We are part of the epoch-making, requirement of making our nation the finest. Every one of us is a nation maker. All democratic process is a process of choice, where we decide what is best for us. It doesn't matter who is elected or who is not elected. It doesn't really matter at all. It is our choice. It is our commitment to the processes of nation which is important, and this is the constitutional imperative. What you are today is much better than what you were yesterday. That means progress. The mirror that you see should turn into windows. See the world outside, not yourself. And that is a progress that we are required to make. And that is what Sri Chitra Tirunal told us also. Let me start thanking Joshna for all those fabulous things. You said it with so much commitment, they are all believing it. Thank you for that. The president of today's function and the graduating young man, Ambassador Srinivasan, the most gracious princess, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot of things that is now sweeping my mind, but I'm fully cognizant. Oh, sorry, that's where the way lawyers speak. That's a word for aware. It's a synonym. So I'm fully aware that I'm the last speaker today, and that I would thrust tedium on you if I'm to speak long and winding. I'll be very careful of that. My wife and I were greeted by a band of young, brilliant girls. We have never got this kind of greeting any time before. I don't know if they are here. Brilliant girls. I was completely mesmerized by the way they, took us in. So thank you for that, young girls, young enough to be my daughters or even lesser. Before I move on, Dr. Lilitha Matthew is my teacher from school. What a brilliant moment for me. I feel awarded that she has come all the way to hear me today. Thank you so much, miss. You don't know how much it means to me. Really. I met her a week ago and she embellished me with a poem. I'm not sure if you have seen that. It was completely undeserving for me, but then it was a gracious blessing from her. Thank you so much, miss. She looks very young, but she taught me when I was in school. Hariharan Nair sir is my super senior on the bench, my judge. He judged me when I was a younger lawyer. Thank you, sir, for being here. It's a great moment for me. When Ambassador Srinivasan called me first, I see so many of other faces I know. Vijay Raghavan, everybody, Singh is here. This is the galaxy of Trivandrum, and I've said that in that book when I was asked to write about today's experience. So when Ambassador Srinivasan called me, I think this must be about a month ago or somewhere there, he said that this is an awards function, and as he said, I have to go through the rigmarole of a protocol evaluation and all that. But then he added something that immediately arrested me. He said, it's a release of a book that I've written or I've edited or that has been compiled. And I knew then that I am coming here. And then it was only a formality that I got the clearances. That was also easy because as Srinath was also saying, and many others said here, you go through the list of people who got this award in the past. What am I? And look at the people who have given it. The most impressive of the list you could get for any award. Both sides, the awardees and the presenters. So I'm a very poor substitute for that, but then I'm thankful that you thought me worthy of it. This is something which is sometimes, gone through my mind. I'm sure many of you also thought of this. Why do we really establish or give away prizes in the name of eminent men? or women for that matter. You could have given an award simply saying it's an award of excellence, or like any other awards that are normally internationally given without an eponymous name. That's because we are honoring, we are committing ourselves to the vision and the memory of a very great personality that walked behind us past. Now, I'm reminded of the famous words of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He's an American poet. He said, all lives eminent remind us that our lives are also sublime. He said, they depart, leaving behind us the footprints of time in sand. So this is where this award becomes very important. And this is where the award becomes much more, it becomes committed to them to choose the best of people who are to receive it. Sri Chitra Tirunal, I don't have to speak about him in an audience like this, and that too in Thiruvananthapuram. But there is one thing that always that grips me very, very strongly when I think about the Maharaja, are the words of our Mahatma Gandhi. He has written an open letter after the 1936 Temple Proclamation. He said, people call me the Mahatma, and I don't think I'm deserving. But he said, Maharaja, you are now a Mahatma, because at an age of nearly 24, he was just, I think it was the eve of his birthday when he turned 24 in 1936, he signed that proclamation. It changed the state for certain, and perhaps a nation also. It's absolutely poignant when we speak about him today. From what you see now, after all these years after that proclamation, where the inherent purpose of the proclamation was to say that all people are equal. Our constitution recognizes us as to be the sovereign. Each of us are the kings or the queens. Each of us are equal. No one is lesser than the other. It is that proclamation which proclaimed that. And over the years, after 1936, all these years, 90 years and above, are we really in that vision? Have we really fulfilled that vision fully? It's for us to reflect on what these eminent men had done, walking behind us, walking ahead of us in the science of time. And this is where I was absolutely thrilled when I was told that the gracious princess had been chosen this year. Not merely as a literary figure, as we know she is one of the finest, no doubt about it, but also as the successor of that legacy of Sri Chitra Tirunal. She is his daughter because he remained without daughters, the niece of course, but then she is his daughter. And I could see, Princess, I saw the way you were emotional when you spoke about your Pannamavan. So this is where we stand today, and we are in commemoration of something that is so poignant that we sometimes miss out in our daily affairs. I was also told by Satish Kumar when he came with his son to invite me formally to my chambers that there will be a lot of children. He talked about the school. I'm not sure if the school is an all-girls school. No, I see only girls here. So, as a nation like this, with all of you in front, we are bound to be the best in the years to come. No doubt about it. So he came and said that there'll be children here, there'll be parents here. Now, I just want to tell you one thing. Whether you know it or not, all these young girls and boys who are here, we are all nation builders. We are part of the epoch-making, requirement of making our nation the finest. Every one of us is a nation maker. It is just that we don't recognize it. We continue with our lives thinking that we are living for ourselves, we are living for our family, and we are living for people who are close to us. But everything that you do, everything that you pursue, every service that you give is actually for the nation. It's not for yourself alone. Of course, as human beings, we are selfish enough to keep the best for ourselves at the first parcel. But the rest, the balance, is always for the nation. It is a complete nation-building exercise, which is life. And this is what people like Sri Chitra Tirunal has taught us. He did not marry, I'm aware of that, but it's not that alone. He committed himself to the nation. Imagine, is there anybody else whom you can really point out of being a king and a governor. I think he was called the Raj Pramukh, and then a sovereign individual. What we call a common man. I would call him a sovereign individual. So he went through all the three, and he has left all his experiences for us to follow. Everything that we have to see in a complete life for a complete being. Come back to the present day. Come back to seeing what these young girls and boys are seeing. All the strife that you see around. All the kind of hatred that you see around. Is that really what takes our lives forward? And is this what we want our nation and our state to go through? This is for us to reflect. This is for us to understand. And all democratic process is a process of choice, where we decide what is best for us. It doesn't matter who is elected or who is not elected. It doesn't really matter at all. It is our choice, it is our commitment to the processes of nation which is important. And this is the constitutional imperative. There can't be a strife, there can't be hatred. After all, what is the point of a hatred in this? If I take a particular view, how can I be found fault with somebody who doesn't subscribe to me? And this is what our forefathers have taught us throughout the processes that we saw during the independence struggle and all that. There is no hatred. It's pure and simple philosophical excellence that we saw. And our constitution, which is the most paramount document that guides us, it mandates that we become excellent. Article 51 capital A, which is fundamental duties. I think the children should know this. Everybody talks about fundamental rights. Anything that you talk about, wherever you go, and every case that comes to a judge like me, it is based on this reflection that, look, my rights are being violated. My fundamental rights are not being, recognized. So give me my relief. But I have not seen anybody come to me and say, look, I have a fundamental duty. Please allow me to do that and give me that space so that I can do what the Constitution tells me as my paramount and fundamental duty. And the most important of that duty, in my view, is couched in Article 51 capital A, sub-article J. It makes it incumbent. Hariharan Nair sir, I'm speaking it with your permission. It makes it incumbent on every Indian to be excellent. It is no longer a choice. It is an absolute constitutional obligation. Every one of us have the potential to be the best. And as I said, every one of us are indeed in the process of nation building. It is just that we don't recognize it and we are not committed to the extent to which we are expected to be. Think about it. You will understand your options and your importance as an individual sovereign of this nation. You are not in a race with somebody else. You are in a race with yourself. The Constitution tells you to be the best form of yourself, the best avatar of what you can be. It is not that I should be better than Ambassador Srinivasan. It's not that Ambassador Srinivasan should be lesser than anybody else. It is just that the Constitution tells you under the article that you should be the best form of yourself when you go on. It's just that you should be a better person today than you were yesterday. And if somebody used to tell me that you are as good as you were in 1991 when you started your career, it is complete stagnation. I have failed. But should somebody tell me that, look, yesterday what you are today is much better than what you were yesterday, that means progress. The mirror that you see should turn into windows. See the world outside, not yourself. And that is a progress that we are required to make. And that is what Sri Chitra Tirunal told us also. For that matter, any of the greats that you see on this pamphlet who have received this award. It's a great pleasure to be here. As I said, I don't want to continue with the tedium. I'm the last speaker. And I remember, this is, and that too, this is a Sunday. It's almost like a last class of a Friday when you are in school. You want the professor to finish it and go so that I can go home. Please go home, have your dinner. Congratulations to the awardees. And I wish every one of you here Godspeed and the best for all times to come. Thank you so very much.